One of them has been in the U.S. for how many years?
It's going to be 10 years next month.
It's going to be 10 years next month. But she's new to Augustana. She still is African, very passionate about being African. She has been living in South Chicago and with other relatives, not her parents. Parents are still in Africa. So we'll hear her story is a little different. The others have just been in the country in the U.S. about a month. And so we want to know all about their experiences at home, but then we want to know, how's it been this first month? Who are you identifying with? Who, how are you perceiving, how you are being perceived, how they are being perceived, and if there's things, because really I want the rest of us to be a little bit educated about how to treat people from another country, okay, who have joined us. And that kind of reciprocal understanding that we're going to build today, I hope, will make some differences in how we can communicate with each other. You know what, we have no more chairs, but there's lots of floor space. It's carpeted. We hope you'll come on in and fill in the front, if you would, okay? So I'm going to first introduce you to Zineb, right? Where are you? Yes, okay. And she's going to get her photos up there. Good, she's got her own map.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Zirari. I'm 20 and I'm from Morocco. So this is Morocco. I think in the maps here in the US, you only have the top part of Morocco because there's a lot of controversy whether the West Sahara is Moroccan or not, but we think it's Moroccan, so this is all Morocco for us. And so we have borders with Algeria, Mauritania, Atlantic Ocean and Mediterranean Sea. We also have, we don't have borders with Spain, but we're really close to Spain. Spain is about 20 minutes away by boat. So there are a lot of Moroccans in Spain and a lot of Spanish in Morocco. The capital is Rabat, but I'm from Casablanca, which is the biggest city and it's the economical city. So I have one brother. Yeah, he's 39 and he lives in Canada. And then this is my mom and my dad. This is in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. And so these are just pictures of Casablanca. So Morocco was colonized by Spain and Portugal for just a short while, but it was mainly colonized by France for over 50 years. So we have two official languages, Arabic, which is our mother tongue, and French. So everyone speaks French, but a lot of people from the northern part of Morocco speak Spanish, and in the Sahara as well they speak Spanish. So this is a mosque, and our official religion is Islam. So the majority of us are Muslim, but then we have a lot of Christians and a lot of Jewish in Morocco because we have a lot of Europeans that live in Morocco. So we are a monarchy, so this is the royal family. This is the king and the first lady. So we are actually a really stable, politically stable country because
it's on the timer.
Yeah,
it's on the slide.
Yeah, it's on. So we are actually one of the few countries that did not have the Arab Spring. The Arab Spring happened in 2010. It was a wave of revolutions in all the Arab countries, and we did not have that. So we're really stable. Our economy is based on. Phosphate.
Remove the slideshow.
Or argan oil. Can you go back?
Take it off the slide.
Yeah, take it off the slideshow.
Yeah. So argan oil actually, together with Brazil, we are the only two countries that have argan trees in the whole of the world. So argan oil is a big thing in Morocco. I don't know if you know it, but it's used for hair and it's mainly for cosmetics, and we also cook with it in Morocco. So, okay, so what I'm wearing is called Gandora. It's one of the traditional wears, but this is the big one. It's called Ktan. It's what we wear for weddings and for big celebrations. Yeah. So this is one of our main dishes. It's called stella. It's like a pie, and it's made with almonds and chicken and onions and other things. This is called a tagine. It's the main dish, so we eat in that thing. And in Morocco, we all eat in one plate in the middle, and we all eat with our hands. And we use bread all the time. And all the meals we always eat with the bread. And all of us in a round table and with one plate in the middle. Yeah. So I'm double majoring in mathematics and economics, and I lived all my life in Morocco. But then, for the past 3 years, I lived in South Africa and in Malaysia. And yeah, that's all.
All right, who's next? William?
Drive, yeah. Oh, you just go. Such a complicated place.
No.
While William's getting set up there, Zineb is, you'll have a chance to ask questions after they present a little bit, but Zineb was in South Africa for 2 years in school, right? And what was the name of the school again?
African Leadership Academy.
African Leadership Academy. Did anybody go to Matt Pelton's session in the last hour? No? Well, he spoke about that as well, Africa Leadership Academy, and it was through an affiliate of that he's an alum from Augustana who lived in Nairobi for last year.
I can do it. Okay, it's okay. Just you. No. First, just okay. You,
Understand? I mean,
or we can pass it.
it was
for
so
you.
cool. It was so cool.
Like, no, you wanted to show that.
Okay, so hi, I'm William. I'm William Fabyan. I'm from Ghana, which is also called the Gold Coast, because so much gold.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the table of contents. I'll be talking about, I'll be introducing myself, my nationality, family, geography, national fact, economic facts, ethnic groups, pictures of Accra. That's the capital city, the monuments, the Ghanaian flag, and the picture farms. And my life as an English student. So that's Ghana right there. It's bordering Nigeria and Togo and Ghana is really close. Even though there's Benin and Togo in between Ghana and Nigeria, Ghanaians and Nigerians have really worked together in many things, businesses and movie production. So we're like brothers. So yeah, my name is Fabyan. I'm 19. And yeah, I was born in the capital city of Accra, but then there's a town 3 hours away from Accra, which is called Nnoke. That's the gold mines. This is exactly the town where the Portuguese, the first Europeans to reach West Africa, landed. So they named the place Nnoke. Yeah. Family, I'm so sorry, I don't have pictures. I just couldn't find me. Call my mom, she didn't have me. So my parents are divorced, so I've been living with my mom and my grandparents my whole life before coming to the US. The family name is Fabyan. My dad previously worked for the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, the branch in Ghana, and he's married to Tyler, owns the cement, water, and sewage refinery production. My mom, Felicia Fabyan, is the head of the customer service in an Indian telecommunications company in Africa called Eletu. My grandparents currently own a school, which I'll be taking over when I get back. So. Yeah, so Ghana is the West African country bordering the Gulf of Guinea. Ghana is bounded by Cote d'Ivoire to the west, and Burkina Faso to the north, and Togo to the east, and the Atlantic Ocean to the south. Its largest river is the Volta. Its highest peak is Mount Akwatoto. Its capital city is Accra, which is the largest city and the largest city. But national facts, Ghana's population is 25,768,000. Religions is 71% Christianity, 17.6% Muslim, 5% nationalists, and other. I actually never knew there were other religions when I was surprised. And currency is the Ghana cedi, and this is currently the exchange rate when you relate it to the US currency. And national holiday is 6th of March. That's actually when we got our independence in 1957, which is rate is 71.5%, which has gone up. Yeah, and Ghana is the most peaceful country in Africa and the 40th most peaceful country in the world. It's a very interesting fact. Yeah, economic facts. GDP per capita is 19.41 billion. This means that each household derives 3,500. If you divide the GDP by the number of households in Ghana, every single house will get $3,500. Yeah. The growth rate is 7.9%. Inflation, unemployment 11%. Its imports, we import capital equipment, petroleum, and foodstuffs. But our exports is oil, gold, cocoa, timber, tuna, bauxite, aluminium, manganese, ore, and diamonds. Natural resources, gold, timber, industrial diamonds, bauxite, manganese, fish, rubber, hydropower, petroleum, silver, salt, and limestone. Major trading partners, Netherlands, Italy, UK, France, Germany, US, India, Singapore, Nigeria, and China. Ethnic groups, there are 100 ethnic groups in Ghana. My family and I belong to the Akan ethnic group, which includes the Fanti tribe, which I belong to. Besides English, my family speaks Fanti, but then for me, I don't really speak Fanti because when I started school, I went to international school, my parents thought my native language would interrupt my English, like the proficiency of my English, so they made English my first language. So I started learning Fanti at the age of 14, so I'm just a little shit. I just use it when I'm taking a taxi anywhere or I'm buying something from a store. That's when I actually speak it. But then, besides that, I really don't know how to speak it. I should say I'm really embarrassed. And they identified other languages which are spoken besides English. Yeah, so that's the first two pictures of the capital. Actually, all the four pictures are there. That's Accra, pictures of Accra, and yeah, there's the skyline. Like the busy town around town, but I mean, that's all. Yeah, that's the castle. That's the Portuguese castle. No, the British castle, and the British king. And yeah, there's just a few pictures, and that's the freedom and justice. When we gained our independence, this monument was built as some kind of symbolism. I'm just like a sign to declare that we've gained our independence. These are the few monuments as well. So many pictures. Yeah, more monuments. Yeah, that's the Ghanaian flag and the coat of arms. So my majors are computer science and economics. Everyone here is really supportive. Honestly, when I was on the plane and I was really late because I think I was the last African student to get here. So the plane, I was so nervous. I was thinking of how I'm going to relate to the Americans and whether they would understand me or they think I'm speaking some kind of weird alien language or something. I don't know, I was really nervous. When all the Americans came on Thursday, I was so shy. I was so shy. And I think I didn't call my mom. I was like, Mom, I just want to come home because I don't think I can do 4 years in this school. But then everything was okay. I'm glad. In my future plans, I'm actually here to do my master's, my PhD in work courses, and probably work here for at least 1 or 2 years. And just return to my country and just apply whatever I know in my fields over there. Thank you so much.
Hey, could you speak? You have flashlight?
No, I have the one.
Okay, I can go next. You use this one to get into your group, do you? Yeah, and I can go next. Oh, you're gonna go next? Yeah. I'm not gonna go next.
Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna go next to it.
You wanna go now? Bring it. Excuse me. How can I get a hold of her? I'll show you.
One of the pictures that William showed, and there was a 4 up here. The one down here looks like sort of a Spanish-influenced building. That is the main image for the University of Ghana. University of Ghana is maybe 45,000 people, students. It's a huge university, and we have some good Augustana has some good affiliations with people there. I think you've been to the international school. What is the Ghanaian international school that I said I visited?
Yeah, GIS, Ghana International School.
Ghanaian International School. Have you been to that one?
We receive a lot of applicants. I haven't traveled to Africa, but we receive probably 150
I wanna go
applicants between Ghana and
It's in Drive, did you say?
each year.
Great.
Yeah.
So, my question to you is English is the official language, so at home you speak English, you said?
Yeah, I sometimes try, but then I'm so bad at this.
Sorry, we have just
Just English.
So if you were
There
to
you
go
go. So log in.
to a mall, to a restaurant, the common language that you hear in the streets would be English?
Yeah, you have to put the whole address, okay? Your name and Augustana.edu.
At least average English, like average. So I can listen English, it's okay, British language. It's either they know their native language or at least good English, enough English to get it by.
Okay. I have to go to Drive.
So,
Yeah.
do kids start learning in all schools? Would they start learning English in primary school as well, or is that only if you go to a private school?
No, it's everywhere.
Everywhere you would have.
You make sure
It's
the
Africa.
education system makes sure you
Yes.
know really good English. Besides your native language. Yeah. Yay!
Legos.
Hi, my name is Nofisat, and I'm from Nigeria, and I'm from the largest city in Nigeria, which is Lagos. And well, I'm 19 and I've been in the United States. It's gonna be 10 years this month, so I'm really excited. And well, Nigeria is it's like the largest city, like the largest country in Africa. And we have this river, and can somebody please put it on there? Yep. That right there that is the largest and the longest river in Nigeria, and it's called Niger River, and that's where Nigeria got its original name. And well, every October 1st is Nigeria Independence Day. That's when we got independence. So I might be wearing green, white, green, which is our flag. Okay. Green, white, green is the color is the flag of Nigeria. And in Nigeria, it is like, I don't know what to say, because I haven't been there in a while, so I don't know like how it's changed. But like when I was back home, it was really, really fun because everybody got to know everyone. And our official language is Yoruba. Like we have different ethnicity groups, but I'm Yoruba because we have like Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, and different people. I'm Yoruba, and I'm Muslim because we have different religions. But we have Muslim, Christian, Hinduism, and stuff like that. Well,
Sorry.
you know, well, that's how it is in Nigeria. Like, you're just walking around. It's like a supermarket. It's like nowadays you have stores, but that's how it is. And everybody knows everybody. And that's the food. That's plantain. The one in the lip, it's called moi moi. That's like beans. Yeah, that's beans. Like you ground the beans, you blend it, and then you cook it. And this right here, it's rice and some meat, and that one is called kuli kuli. Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah, that is egusi and pounded yam, which we call inyo, and it's like yam.
So Nigeria is the 10th largest in population country in the world. So that's significant. 10th largest population of any country in the world. So Lagos is somewhere around 20 million people. A city, 20 million people. That's huge. Okay. And it's the reason why I say somewhat around. It's very difficult to take an actual census because there's so many people moving in and out. So many people sharing apartments or sharing spaces. Many generations of families moving around and all. Lagos, Nigeria is a fabulous place. One of my favorite places in the world. Has lots of problems, as you've heard, but it's a great place. Unfortunately, I can't take Augustana students there, so I'm safe enough.
Hi, my name is Wilma, but people call me Wilma, and I'm from Cameroon. So Cameroon, we're the first people to arrive in Cameroon were the Portuguese, and they came through the coast, and there were a lot of shrimps there, so they called it Rio dos Cameros, and that's how we got the Cameroon flag. So our flag is green, red, yellow. The green is for like the grassland, the red is for unity, and the star also is for unity. Then the yellow is for the sun, as like the provider of like our food and everything. That's my family. I have 2 brothers and a sister. My dad works in the Ministry of Interior. He is the Director of Finance and Material Resources. My mom is an event planner. So that's the map. Sorry, it's in French. But we have, after the Portuguese left, the Germans came. But then, after the Germans came, the French and the English had colonized it afterwards. So 8 of the regions from the extreme north to like the south are French colonized regions, and the southwest where it's written northwest and southwest at the end are English colonies. And the 3 regions on the top are mostly Muslims, and the rest are Christians, but due to migration, it gets all mixed up. And yeah, that's our palace. That's Yaoundé, our capital. That's the Unity Palace. That's the town. And where I grew up, Yaoundé, it's a town in the middle of like 6 hills. So it's in French. Oh, sorry. Our official languages are French and English. So because of the colonization and everything. So in French we'll call it La Ville de Sept Collines because it's in the middle of 7 hills. That's like a picture of it at night. That's a nice hotel, so if ever you come, you can. Yeah, next. Yeah, that's still Yaoundé. You can see the hills from the town. Yeah, that's still the center. That's traffic. You don't want to get trapped in traffic, especially if you want to go to work. It gets really bad. So, yeah, that's what the market looks like Nofisat said. Like it's like that. You go to the market, everybody knows everybody. That's Douala. That's our economical capital. And basically, it's smaller than Yaoundé, but more people live there because it's the economical capital. And so if you want to buy like cheap stuff, you go to Douala. And it's really congested, but it's also a nice town. But it also gets hot there because many people live there and it's sometimes. So that's a beach. So Cameroon is called African miniature because we're in the center of Africa, and so we have like vegetations from all over. We have the desert, we have the grassland, we have forests, and we have 2 kinds of beach. The first one is the yellow sand beach because it's yellow, and this one is black because this town Zineb is found in a volcanic area, so that makes the sand to be black. That's Samba Hill, that's a national park, it's really beautiful. That's the northern region, so you can see the difference in the vegetation. The northern part is more like a desert part, so those are different cultures. The one to the left is the Northwesterners, those are the Northwesterners. The ones at the bottom left are the Bamoons. The ones in the middle are the Bamilekes. The ones in the upper right section are from the north, and that's also a Bamileke. That's our food. We eat grilled fish. We also eat a lot of rice and like vegetables, and that's like corn and vegetables. Thank you.
All right, while the next person is getting ready, I'll just point out where we've been so far. We've been to, let's see, we started in Morocco, up here. Then we, who was second? Ghana is right here. And then we've been to Cameroon and what did I miss? Nigeria. Okay, so this is known as West Africa. So when you're hearing about West Africa, it's about a number of countries there. This is, and this, the equator runs right through there. Okay, now we're headed to East Africa. Right?
Yeah, all of that together. Okay.
Okay, so I'm from Ethiopia, and that is in East Africa. It's the Horn of Africa, bordering Kenya, Djibouti, Eritrea, Somalia, and Sudan. Okay, so I just want to start by saying that a lot of people have misconceptions of Africa, and like he mentioned, Africa is really big, so it's not all the same in all the different places. Like we just talked about, you know, the West and like all those different areas, and they're all different from each other. So Ethiopia has its own culture as well, and everything is different. I'd like to think, yeah. This is my family. This is not my entire family. I have a brother who lives in Canada. We're very spread out. So my brother lives in Canada. My mom and my sister live in Ethiopia. My dad lives in Sudan, and I live here. So these are my cousins. Okay. Actually, no. I went to an international school. Well, I've been in international school my whole life. So I lived in 2 East African countries. I lived in Tanzania for 6 years, and then after that I lived in Ethiopia for 4 years before coming here. And that's when I realized how people generalize about Africa, but it's actually really different. Because when I was in Tanzania, everybody noticed that I wasn't from there. Like everybody could tell. And they're like, oh, where are you from? Or, oh, look, your hair is different. Or, you know, there were a lot of things that they picked up on to tell that I'm not from there. And yeah, this is just some of my classmates and showing you how international we are. Okay, so this is the city of Addis Ababa. That's the capital city. That's where I'm from. It is not what you see in the news or like what people usually assume Africa looks like. Okay, so how we live. I know that America and where I'm from, Ethiopia, is very different. First of all, the main thing I noticed is that everybody's houses are open. Like it's
a house and then there's no fence around it or anything. We have this big walls. I don't know if you can see it from the one in the corner, top corner, but we have walls covering our houses. And here it's like everybody's so close. Yeah. And everything's made out of wood. I don't know if that's like in this town or everywhere else, but we use bricks. But okay, so I just put the slide to show you how even in Ethiopia, like there are different types of people. And so the top two are kind of well-off, middle class, and I fit somewhere in that. That's the middle, and then that's poor. And I just wanted to show you, like, people see just this last one in the corner, and they think it's what the majority looks like, but it's not. The majority looks like the one next to it. Oh, yeah. These are just apartment buildings. This city, the capital city, is being taken over by these apartment buildings because nobody can afford land anymore because it's so expensive. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk more, but I forgot to put the pictures. So, in Ethiopia, we have different cuisines from different they're different from like other countries. We have something called injera, which is like something you can only grow in Ethiopia, and if you try to grow it somewhere else, it doesn't come out right. So, yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, that's very much here. Oh, and this is an Ethiopian dress.
Tell us a little bit about Ethiopian religion. Ethiopia has a very unique religious, very ancient heritage.
Yes.
Tell us
A lot of Ethiopians. Should I come there?
Sure.
Okay.
The rest are going to join you up here in a second, so you can just stay there.
Okay, so there used to be one main religion in Ethiopia, which is Orthodox, and it's very different from other Orthodox, because when I lived in Tanzania, there was no Ethiopian Orthodox. I went to a Greek Orthodox church, and there was like many differences. First of all, it's we have a different calendar from everybody. So it just became New Year, and it just became 2007, like 2 weeks ago. That's one day. And also, there's most of the population is kind of split in half. So 50% would be Orthodox, and the other 50 is Muslim. And yeah, Orthodox have a lot of different traditions, like fasting, where they become vegan, or usually they do it like every Wednesday or Friday, and then they have like long periods, like 2 months, 3 months, where they become vegan and restrict themselves from, getting, yeah. Anyways.
Great. But can others come up here? I'm going to ask a few questions, and there'll be time for you to ask as well. So they'll be a little uncomfortable standing there in front of you, but they'll be all right, I think, won't you? You've all told me how proud you are to be African. Is there any fear of losing your identity, or have your parents expressed any interest, like make sure you come back African, or what do you have to say?
Like, people tend to ask me, since I've been here for so long, why do I still have my accent? And like, I always say, I love my accent more than anything, because that's something that I own. That's something I can call my own, and I never want to lose that accent. Like, I speak my language every day. I make sure I speak it every day. And some people are like, oh, well, you should lose that accent. It's like, you don't talk right. But at the same time, I know I don't talk right, but I love my accent. You understand what I'm saying to you. So that's perfectly fine. I love my accent. I never want to lose it, because that's a part of me, and it's always going to be a part of me, regardless.
That's really important about identity, isn't it? That's a very strong statement, how much she wants to hold on to that. Anybody else want to?
Yeah, I'm actually really proud of you. I've always wanted to have an accent.
accent.
Not like one that's very, it's not an Ethiopian accent, because I went to international schools my whole life, especially when I was in Tanzania, it was more diverse. And everybody was from all over the place, and you just pick up these little things. So my accent changes depending on who I'm with. It has issues. Yeah, so I don't know, I always wanted to have an accent, but when I came here, everybody would be like, I always say I'm gonna go back and then do something great in my country, but you know, nobody believes me because they think that, oh, she's an American now, she's just gonna stay there, she's gonna forget all about us and stuff. And yeah, no, that's not happening.
Well, it's not the same for me. Like I think Moroccans are really attached to their culture. We all think that we have the best culture in the world. So like my parents are not, they know I'm never gonna give up on my culture. Something that a lot of Moroccans are really proud of. So
yeah, it's the same with what Nofisat. For me, when I was coming, my mom every single, let's say 3 weeks before I actually left to the airport, every single Friday she would sit with me and say, William, make sure you don't change. I need you to come and be like, yo, what's up? I'm like, don't worry. She's so scared of me, like talking like with the American accent. I'm like, I just can't be this. Like they all say, it's where we are from. It's like Americans going to live in Ghana for like 15 years. I don't think you guys want to change your accent because it's who you are. We are different people, so it's like Nofisat, we own it, and that's the same thing for me. I own my accents, I own my culture, and that's the reason why I decided to buy an African bag instead of buying a Western bag. That's the reason why I was even planning on getting African hats and wear them instead of like snapbacks and like Chicago Bulls and all that. I just I need to bring something here to let them know who I am. And I mean, we need to adapt. I mean, we need to adapt to the culture here and talk to people, but then you social know where you're from. So you want people to know where you're also from. So I guess I just can never lose it. There are some things I'll pick. There are good things I'll pick up from America which can help me, but then I'll never forget about my culture. I'll just bring everything to the American culture and African culture just to bring out the best out of it.
People look at us and can generalize us that we are like all from Africa, except Zineb because of the skin color. But we are all different, like the way we talk, the accent. When you look at us, when you look at us, we are all different. We come from like different parts of Africa. But I'm really proud of where I come from. Yeah, on the papers it says on the developing country and everything, but you really need to come to like my country and see like the houses that people have. Yeah, it's true there's corruption and everything, but people really have the money. Like people really, really do have the money to live in big houses, to go overseas doing vacations and everything. So it's not like the pictures on the news and the media that you see like a small child that is so hungry and everything. It's true, it happens, but yeah.
The reason why it happens, you see all these poor places is, we'll admit it, Africans are corrupt. I mean, our politicians are corrupt, and when we get money, they take like a huge amount of it and they leave the rest for maybe, if a hospital has to be built in 4 years, because they take so much money, we end up building a hospital in 8 years. So like there's this kind of setback here. We don't really progress really quickly or how we should be. And basically there's this neighborhood in Ghana. You don't step there if you don't have more than $50,000. You will never see a Benz. You always see Lamborghinis and Bugattis, and if they have the money, they actually move around. So it's not exactly. I mean, Africa is more basically the poor slums and that's all. I mean, we have that, but then that's just like in Ghana, it's just like 30% compared to the whole country. So we can say we are also developing. So when you guys see the pictures on CNN, just be like, they are liars.
It's true, but
yeah, but then it's not exactly that.
When I first got here, the most common question, it's like, oh, you're from Ethiopia, but I thought you guys were poor. I'm like, I don't know how that has anything to do with this. But yeah, and they also mentioned my accent. Everybody that I meet here, almost everybody, they're like, oh, but you speak such good English. I'm like,
Mm.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah, and in my country, I'm different from somebody else because in my country we have like 276 other small languages that are spoken. So when you can see me in my country and notice the difference with somebody else by my accent and the other person's accent. We are all different. So it's a huge cultural thing in a small country and in a big continent.
Yeah, and like when I tell people that I'm from Morocco and Morocco is in Africa, everyone's like, "You're not black." What? Yeah, well, like people think that Africa is just black. People like when they think about Africa, they think just about sub-Saharan Africa. They forget about North Africa. Well, the whole of North Africa we're all white, and we don't have very few black people there. But that's why a lot of Americans just they think Africa, black people, and nothing else.
Yeah. Okay, tell us a little bit about your first reactions of coming to America. How do you sense you are treated? Are you treated differently here? How are you being treated? William already said that everybody was very nice to him. Do you have anything else to add?
For me, it's, as I said, because they don't know I'm African, maybe. They just, I'm white, so they know that I'm not American. They ask me, oh, where are you from? You don't have an American accent, but then that's all we do. Everyone is really white.
When I first came here, and cause I started grad like this month, whatever. But when I first came here, someone asked me, they were like, oh, you need to go back to your country. You are a slave.
Where was that? Not in Augustana, right?
Not,
that was
not,
in Chicago.
Yeah, that was in Chicago. And my first thought, at the time, I knew what slavery was, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not a slave because I flew from a plane to come to the United States. I wasn't handcuffed. I'm not a slave. Just because my ancestors, people back in the day were that does not make me a slave. But now when people want to trying to be mean because I'm from Africa, I have to let them know, don't try to talk to me like I'm nobody. Because everybody in this world, we are all from Africa. Whether you like it or not, whether you black, whether you British, we are all from Africa. Because that's how it is.
Yeah, it's true. Before that, I don't know, but then the whole world was not divided continent, it was just one big land. And everyone was from the from Africa, and then they started spreading around. That's how. So
Anybody else? How you're being treated here?
I mean, I'm used to diversity and stuff, and it's okay because we're usually with international people, but Americans are very open-minded. It's it's better than I expected.
I'm so surprised. so surprised.
Don't go to Chicago.
Okay.
I wouldn't walk alone.
As for me, I went to a boarding school for 7 years. Actually, it was my grandparents' school. So I went there for 7 years, and I went to international school, so I write my SATs, SATs and APs. So yeah, it was also diversity. So I don't really feel bad here because it's normal. And you go out in the street, you see a white person, and you go to a restaurant, it's normal. So I don't really think.
So where people in Africa.
That is true.
Yeah. I was going to say, when people try to imitate the accent, that really gets to me because that really irritates me because you don't know, especially when they do it just to be mean, it's irritating. Just I would never want to try to imitate. Anybody loves the British accent because I'm not, but I would never try to imitate because I don't know how to do it. So why imitate an African accent when you know you don't know how to do it and you want to be mean with it?
All right, I think it's time we can open up for some questions. Yes, what would you like to ask?
Just because jumping on to that topic of, I feel as though in the States there's always this huge discussion about race and color. And I remember when I was in college, one of my friends who's from Lesotho told me, it was shocking for her to come to school in the States and suddenly all this conversation when her home country, same thing, there were whites, blacks, Asian, everything that you could possibly imagine. It wasn't such a hot topic. Have you felt like this has been kind of a shock to you to come to the States and suddenly everyone wants to know, where you're from? Do you feel that that's different from your home countries?
Yeah.
Is that shocking to you?
Because of this.
It's not like the skin color per se, but we never thought of, since there are like white people in Africa and they're Asians, it's like, I don't know, everybody comes there because we're awesome. But I mean, you see those people around all the time, and we've never had a problem with race until we got here. It's like, oh, you're black. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think I know that. But the issue with racism, that for me, it's like only came up like when I got here. Because when I was back home, I had friends from all over the world, and nobody seemed to notice or make it a big deal. And we used to make, racist jokes. Like, here it's, you have to be like, I can't do this because I want to live.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I feel that sometimes it's not that we try to be ignorant, but sometimes it's just lack of spending time to, see it on the news, or like you say, we get those glimpses on CNN and those sort of things, and so we start forming these stereotypes and that sort of thing. So we're really excited to have you guys here at Augustana and sharing your story, because that all obviously enlightens all of us. So thank you very much.
And I've forgotten your name. Is it
Liz?
Liz. Tell us, introduce yourself. Tell us what you do here.
Oh, I'm Lizino. I'm Director of International Admissions at
So
Augustana.
you get that? Director of International Admissions. So she's a recruiter for us to bring in international students, which is great. It really enriches our culture, don't you think?
Yeah, well, obviously they're the ones doing all the magic here, because obviously reading your guys' application, and I know that this is such a great opportunity because each of the international students bring a whole new perspective, a way of seeing the world, and so thank you very much for sharing it. And J&T obviously does all the work here when he's there with the students and getting them acclimated to college, so thank you guys so much.
Are we out of time?
No.
Okay. I was wondering, I know you went to international school, but could you talk about your school curriculum, like, before you came to Augustana? Yeah, so I want to listen to all of you.
I studied the British curriculum. Like, Americans have finals, we have Cambridge.
Okay,
we have
can I ask you, can I intervene again? Because I want to ask you, like, what is this British curriculum?
Oh, okay. So it's similar to, it's like so from elementary to secondary, you learn everything, languages, math, English, everything. But when you get to the last 3 years of school, that's like freshman, sophomore, and let's just say freshman, sophomore, and junior, like those 3 years. You just pick the subjects you want to do. So like for our educational system is like, we make sure by the time you get out of high school, you know what you want to do in college. You already have a major. So you don't come saying I'm undecided. That's basically what we do. So in my last 3 years, I chose business, economics, and ICT, computer science, like something related to computer science. So that's how it is for every single school, be it private or secondary. That's how it is.
So in Morocco, we are Francophone country, so we follow the French baccalaureate. So, like at the end of high school, it's an exam is called baccalaureate. You just take an exam with all the classes, everything. Like you have a week to do that. But then I went to an Italian school, because in Morocco we have a lot of American schools, Spanish schools, Italian, and French schools. I went to an Italian school, so I followed the Italian system all my life, which we studied a lot of languages, we studied a lot of humanities, a lot of sciences. It was like a really general education. Even, like I was in the scientific high school, but still I studied philosophy, art history, and a lot of stuff. And then I also went, for my last 2 years, I went to South Africa. And there I did A-levels. And for A-levels, you have to choose only three subjects, which was like shocking for me because we do like 11 or 12 in Morocco. So you just choose three subjects and you do your exam, and that's all.
As William said, it's 7 years for like high school. Yeah, 7 years, and at your 3 last years, you know basically what you want to do. When you write the O levels, it's a bit more open, but you basically know what you want to do. Because I've been a science student like all my life, so I knew basically what I wanted to do. Then, the last 2 years, then you can, the A levels, as she said, you can have write a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 5. So.
Yeah, so it's like how you American universities have liberal arts in the universities, but in Ghana, it's basically liberal arts in secondary and elementary school. So graduate school becomes university for us. That's how it is. So when I came here, I was supposed to do that.
Yeah, when I went to high school, they said 3 years, so I had 4 years, and the first 2 was what they did, which is O levels, which is also IGCSE, International General Certificate for Secondary Education from Cambridge. And so you did I did 9 subjects. I don't know. Okay.
Maximum is 3.
Yeah, and then, so they had 1 year of A levels, which is the 3 subjects, but I did 2 years of IB, so that's the International Baccalaureate, and that's 6 subjects that you have to choose from each section, so from a language, from humanities, from science, art, whatever. And then we had to do TOK, which is theory of knowledge. And yeah, it's not, the difference between like what they did, A levels and O levels, theirs is like your whole grade depends on your final exam. So it's, if you do bad on your final exam, you just fail. But in IB, it's like throughout the 2 years, it's what you get. So you have like a certain percentage for different things, and then your final exam is like 50%. So at least you can make up for it, I think. Yeah. So that's a like huge difference.
Yeah, and again, even in my country,
well, in Nigeria, it's really different because we graduate in 6th grade instead of 5th grade. And then you have 6 years in high school, and then it's university. And like, I really didn't, I wasn't in high school, Nigeria, so I don't know what they took. But when I was in 6th grade, I took like 9 classes. And the language, we actually have to take the language that they have to speak, which is Yoruba. And like, during that time, we can't speak English at all. If you speak English, you have to pay. Like, you have to say your language, and like you have to be able to spell it, you have to be able to say, you have to be able to read it. But yeah, and it's fun. It's actually really fun. But then we learn economics, we learn home ed, like, so you have to be, especially for a girl, you don't have to like depend on a guy to do something for you.
Yeah, and as the thing of identity also, like, it's the same thing with the Cambridge, the L levels, but in my country, we have the basis of Cambridge, but we do it in our own style. So, yeah.
Anyone else? Question?
I was curious, what kind of sports are popular in your respective countries? And
And you shouldn't even watch the grown men play. You should watch the kids play. When in traffic and like in the park, I love traffic so much because you get to watch the kids play.
They use the bucket at the goal.
They are so funny. There are times where people like all the people in traffic actually watch them when they score, but people actually come outside their cars. That was good. It's football here. Football.
It's football.
America, it is football because it's football.
So who has the best soccer team?
Nigeria.
They always talk when they every time we meet.
Well, you told me that Ghana and Nigeria are like brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
Nobody is family in Africa when it comes to soccer. It's like, you're on your own.
I mean, when I was in school and I had like 3 Nigerians in my class, and we were watching the soccer match. I didn't speak to them until the match was over. During that moment, it's like, it's Ghana, not Nigeria. Like, there's no friendship.
And especially when there's like a big soccer match, like the whole town is quiet.
Yeah.
Like everybody stops. It's like a public holiday in our country.
No car.
Nobody is outside. Everybody is inside. And when we score, you can hear like all the whole town screaming. So it's
And it was quiet again until the end of the game.
So that is a huge unifying factor in infrastructure in African countries is soccer and football. It's huge.
then we have
You,
track.
you cannot understand that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Running, that's like a huge thing too.
What's that?
It depends. It depends which country. Certain countries.
Yeah, that's Kenya, I think. Yeah, Kenya.
Yeah,
Kenya, Ethiopia also.
Kenyans, yeah. Big deal.
Yeah, watch the Chicago Marathon, which I happen to be running in 2 weeks. I won't be winning it, and I won't be running with any Africans, but probably we Africans who win that, so you might watch. Does that help with your sports question?
Yeah.
Anything else related to that? No? Probably have time for a couple more questions if you have anything. Matt.
Hello, my name is Matt. I've actually been living in Kenya and working abroad across all the countries, different business and government leaders. I have a question about your specific identity as it relates to your nation. So all the countries you come from, how do you relate? I know here you're in a new country, you're already interacting with a lot of different African students, but how do you relate to other countries on the continent? And how do you identify yourself relative to Ghana, to Gabon, to Nigeria, etc., when you look across Africa? Or have you gotten to that stage yet?
My dad and I, as we drive through Africa, because I think most of the roads are connected, we come back to Ghana, and the people I meet, I mean, you can tell that they are different, because like the accent of their English, I mean, Ghanaians are neutral, right? We just don't have any kind of accent with English, like in Africa, but then different people, like different Africans have different accents, but then when I talk to them and I relate to them or buy something from them or go to a program in maybe Gabon, or I went to Benin to see a play, and the people I met, I feel like they're just my brothers and sisters, just that they're just living in a different country. So I don't see myself as different. I will eat their food. I just relate to them. I mean, I just see them as this basically people from my household living somewhere else in a different country. So there's nothing like any barrier or some kind of awkward moments or
In Morocco, it's completely different. It's a bad thing, but Moroccans don't consider themselves Africans because we are white and we don't have before going to South Africa, I have never met a black person. That's how it is. I've never talked to a black person before living in South Africa because we don't have them. The only black people in Morocco are the ones that come immigrate there. They're really poor usually. They don't have jobs. So for some reason we identify more to Europe because we're closer to them than to the rest of Africa. And actually we are the only African country that is not in the African Union. And we are the only African country that wanted to be in the European Union. And obviously we couldn't. So that's a really big problem in Morocco. But I see myself as an African because I lived there for 2 years. But I lived in a Pan-African school, so I have friends from all over Africa. But before that, I didn't identify myself as an African. I was Moroccan or European.
Yeah, Ethiopians have this problem as well. Even though we are the capital of the African Union, everybody thinks that, no offense, okay, everybody thinks that we're like you, everybody that I've met, especially when I lived in Tanzania, because it's like another African country, and they thought, oh, Ethiopians don't consider themselves as Africans, and like, well, why would we be, the capital of African Union if we didn't consider ourselves African? And that was a big thing at some point because all the Ethiopians felt like discriminated against because we do look different as well. But then when I went back to Ethiopia, everybody thought I was like half Tanzanian, so that was sad.
It's because they are lighter. Ethiopians are more lighter than all sub-Saharan Africans. So that's, and they have different hair. They have, like, they're completely different than the rest of Africa. That's why.
I would say, yeah, it's true that we have, like, because we come from Africa, we're all like brothers and sisters. But if you take a country, for example, like my country, we have different cultures and different people and everything. So it's kind of, I don't know how to put it, but it's kind of different. Because I'll be on the road, and because someone speaks like a different language than me, I'll like know the accent, and you'll know that this person is from this tribe and this person is from that tribe, and yeah.
Yeah, actually some of what you said Hausa, right?
Yeah.
So there are people, the Hausa people in the country. We have so many of them. We have a section of them in our country as well. So that's the only difference I'll say, just actually speaking like this person is from Hausa, Nigeria.
We don't have any tribes anymore. Everyone. We don't have any tribes. We have a lot of Europeans and just Moroccans, Europeans.
All right, I think our time is up. But let's thank them.